You are watching The Breakdown, episode like 250 or something like that. I think we're at that level now. We've really come to a higher stature, and can we stay here forever? Probably not. Brent Lail, Merrick Sutherland. My name's Norman James. It is championship week for football in London and the surrounding area. Championship week is absolutely massive for us because we celebrate some of the best football played in the entire country. It starts with the Western Mustangs and then it trickles down to the high school level. Guys, I don't have any stats to prove this, but you can make a strong case for the Forest City being the football capital of Canada. Discuss.
I think certainly, even in Ontario, I think you can make that very strong assertion that it is the football factory of Ontario. You know, out west it's very strong as well, but you know what? It starts with the junior programs, it builds up, and we've seen that over the last decade because we've watched it very closely, and we've seen the caliber of play become very strong.
We're talking about football at the upper echelons, but it starts with the wee lads, and they are out there every weekend playing like they want to win a championship. It's truly amazing.
It is great, and they bring them up, and these kids get excited about the high school game, and that's where they want to get to. Then the high school kids want to get to the university level, and they just push each other. And obviously with Western going to 4 straight Yates Cups, and you know, the London High School champion continuously being the Western Bowl champion, you know, the proof is in the pudding that these guys in this city win, and that's flat out all there is to say about it.
What's happening with the high school right now is concurrent with what's going on at the university level for a reason, because Western contends for a Yates Cup, the kids contend for a city championship, and then next year those kids from high school move up to the university level, and you know CIS scouts love the Forest City to come and pick their next crop of players. Is just something that you think is going to continue to grow, and perhaps, dare I say, one day we'll see more football being produced here than hockey?
Oh, more than hockey? That's a tough call, but I mean, I think you're going to see very high level and even higher level. I mean, we have had players go into Division I NCAA schools. I think you're going to see more of it. I mean, Brett Weir, Tom Kuzmarek. I mean, there's, you know, a lot of highly touted players that will come out of this area.
And I think Greg Marshall's doing a big thing in that as well, is that he's recruiting a lot of London players to the Mustangs. You look at the Mustangs roster, there's a lot of London high school players on the Mustangs roster. So he's picking from his own backyard, and he's developing the players here in high school. They got great coaches in place, and they all are aspiring to be Western Mustangs.
And Western's successful annually. One of the reasons why the program is so successful, because they take it seriously, and the bulk of their players come from the 4 cities. I've taken heat in the past for suggesting that Western is the best sports school in all of Canada. I'm not saying that to be 100% the case, but if you were going to make an argument, you could certainly say that Western is among the best schools in our beautiful country, producing high-end athletes, and #1 at pretty much every school in the country is football. And look where Western is, another Yates Cup. Do you guys think that Western can pull it off against Ottawa? And I wouldn't say that either team looked very impressive in their semifinal games. You might give it to Western by a couple of points. Then again, it's on Ottawa's turf, so if the GGs were favored, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, last time they were in Ottawa, it was really early in the season, but Western had the lead until Bradley Sinopoli engineered that drive right down the final 30 seconds of the game for the game-winning touchdown, or this Yates Cup maybe being played here at Western. But I think that the GG's passing game is fantastic, but I think Western overall has been playing the better football recently, and I think Ottawa has been slipping a little bit, and I think they're ripe for the picking, and it totally would not surprise me if Western won this game.
I think Western has had a lot of bye weeks. You know, 2 out of the last 4 weeks have been bye weeks. So, I mean, I think there was a lot of rust that needed to be knocked off, and you need to get that knocked off in a game situation. Enough practice was not going to do that for you. But this is going to be a close game. I'm not going to predict, but I got a strong feeling it'll be within 3 points.
Of course, and Brent, you're going to be at the game, Frank Clair Stadium, a 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. We cannot wait for it. You're going to be at the high school championship. So this Saturday, if you want any kind of football coverage, you're going to have to watch us, A News 6 o'clock and A News at 11 o'clock. Rangers Knights. Some would suggest this is the most intense junior hockey rivalry in Canada. Here we are again talking about how great London sports is, but hey, the London Knights are a legendary outfit. The Kitchener Rangers, a legendary outfit. I think neither team inspires right now, and I think the fans are carrying the day. Take, for example, Sunday's game, the 5-4 game, absolutely wild at the Odd. Those players were lucky to get out of there with their lives. Every time the Knights go to the Odd, it is a gong show. The fans absolutely hate them. Do you like this kind of thing, or do you want to maybe convey a message to the fans to take a chill pill? It's just junior hockey.
It's a combination of both. Obviously, the atmosphere is great. For the fans that do love junior hockey, the Odd is where it's at. 6,000 plus, screaming, cheering before something happens. I made the point before saying, the Knights, it's kind of their fans sit back and wait for something to happen before they cheer, kind of sitting on their hands, where at the Odd, they're going crazy the whole time cheering to make something happen. So it's kind of the exact opposite environment, but obviously it is fun in Kitchener.
They want to stand up because they're so packed in there. It's like they're all like 6,000 sardines. The place is beginning to stink a little bit. That's how crazy it is. But they want to stand up and they want to cheer, and they certainly do that when the Rangers score against the Knights because they hate the Knights.
I love it. You know what? We're always talking about, Leaf fans apathetic. They should march down there and burn the place down. I'm not suggesting anyone do that. However, I love.
Come on, we know what you're getting.
I love the passion. I love it. This is what the sport that they love to watch.
I love the passion. And I love that suit.
Well, it's a nice suit.
Brett and I here with the light colors here. You got the suit and rock. Where's the hat? Watch out. This guy's doing double duty at football games. He's reporting and he's certainly undercover. Okay, real quick, guys. The inductees into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Dino Ciccarelli, Jim Devellano, Cami Granato, Angela James, and Doc Seaman. You think that the class of inductees has been watered down the past several years. You call it Ladies' Night appropriately at Front Street in Toronto because the first women are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I say congratulations to that, but looking back on some of the inductees over the past maybe 10 years, I don't know about this whole situation. There's a lot of stuff that should be called into question because the validity of it. I
think they're just inducting too many people every year, and the talent level seems to be getting watered down. Maybe these people are deserving as far as the Hockey Hall of Fame standards go, but I think when you look at the names and the star power that are going into the Hall of Fame over the last 6-7 years, there's only been 1 or 2 classes that have been, you would say is a star power class, and I think this year just isn't one of them.
Aren't we just applauding everybody? It's not really about stats or numbers. Just welcome them in because we all love hockey.
The Hall of Fame shouldn't be that, but I will say that tonight is a historic night because of the first 2 women going into the Hall of Fame, and I think that it's an important night and should be focused on that.
If you think this is a bad class, well, an arguable class, look, 2002. Roger Nielsen, lovable guy, but was he Hall of Fame worthy? I don't know. Rod Langway, Clark Gillies, Bernie Federko? The best tweet of the day, courtesy of a New York sports writer, what's his name? Larry Brooks. I think the New York Post. He says, congratulations to the 2010 Hockey Hall of Fame inductees. Now will the selection committee please resign? Thank you very much. So I guess we'll leave it with that. Looking forward to all of your coverage at the Yates Cup. Looking forward to your championship game between the CCH Crusaders and the STA Flames. And I don't know, you guys looking forward to anything I might do?
Well, you're going to be tying it all together.
Yeah, I'll try. For Merrick, Brent, I'm Norm. We'll talk to you next time on The Breakdown.